Southern Indiana head coach Rick Stein. Coach, um, second year or 26th season USI, coming off the OVC championships last year, picked first in the preseason poll. Put all that into some general thoughts on your team as we head into 24-25 season.
Yeah, obviously, our third year in the OVC, and so excited to be a part of this league. Obviously, so much great tradition and so many great teams and programs in the Ohio Valley Conference. We came in. I thought, our first year, and really got off to a great start in Division I and in the conference. It was tough because we didn't make that conference tournament that first year, and that was certainly one of our goals, to be playing in that. We had three teams tied for seventh place, and we lost it on tiebreakers. Obviously one of our goals coming into last year was to make sure that didn't happen again. We wanted to be competing for a conference championship in some way, shape, or form. And obviously, outstanding year. Had such an awesome, great, a group of young women that bought in day one, and certainly had a great run with the regular season, OVC championship, a conference tournament championship, and then of course in the WNIT making some waves too. So, lost a couple of really good players from that team, couple seniors that graduated and moved on, and great players and great leaders. But every year, I feel like we're always going to, every year you're going to graduate good ones, and we did. We have 10 returnees, and feel great about our returning bunch. Added two newcomers, one freshman and one transfer, and they fit just perfectly into our program and how we play in our style, but who we are too. So yeah, it's been a fun journey so far. We got started back on June 2nd, and we've come a long way in a short time. The thing is last year's success just doesn't keep going. I've said it plenty of times, is last year's over, and it's a new season, a new year, new roles, and a new league. Obviously, this conference changes every year. We have, I think, four new head coaches in the conference, many new players, but also some really good returning players, throughout. So, we're excited. We're excited about the journey we're in the middle of, and excited about November 4th and getting it kicked off, here at the Screaming Eagles Arena.
If you have questions for Coach Stein, let me know down in the chat, and I'll call on you. Brad Klein is up first, so he's got some questions for you, Coach.
Okay.
Hey, Coach, appreciate the time. It was this time last year in downtown Evansville. We're talking about how USI is projected to finish right in the middle of the conference. Well, clearly, the perception around USI women's basketball in the OVC has changed, and for good reason. The two OVC championships, regular season and tournament. So the OVC sees you differently. Does it feel any different than it was this time last year?
I wouldn't say so. No, here's the thing. When we came into Division I, we had the whole mindset was we were going to be prepared to compete right away and do our best to compete. Our first year, I think we were picked seventh or something, and we finished basically seventh or eighth. Last year, picked sixth, finished first. This year, picked first. You just don't know. It's a new season. Obviously, with the amount of returning players we have, I figured that we'd probably get some votes, but again, a preseason poll is just that. It didn't turn out that way last year, and probably didn't the year before either, whatever it was in order. So does it feel good to have some recognition for your program, and more importantly for these young women, because obviously what they've done and the success they've had is really showing up in what the poll is. But again, we don't get caught up in preseason polls too much. It's a preseason poll, and it's not going to help us win any games this year, especially come December 19th when we kick off the OVC, and again, 20 game schedule. The league's just, again, is going to be different because it's changed in a lot of ways, and that 20 game schedule will change it too.
Coach, with that being said, you have a lot of returning players. Other teams do. There's a mix. There's new players in the league too. How quickly does a league change then from with talent? If a team finished eighth or ninth in the polls last or in the order last year, how quickly can they get up to the top of the league and change? Sort of like what you all did and what you just described.
Immediately. Yeah. I mean, it's obviously, and here's the thing. I mean, this league, right now we have the returning, conference most valuable player in this league is back. The freshman of the year is back. There's plenty of all league players scattered throughout, that are returning. And then of course, with recruiting and how it's changed with the transfer portal. I mean, teams can change immediately, and yeah, that's so to get too caught up in where you're picked. When we were picked six last year, we certainly felt like we had a team that could compete for a higher place than that, and I'm guessing that all the way down the line, everybody's thinking, man, I think we got a chance to be better than what maybe that even poll says, so yeah, can a team change immediately? Again, like I said, styles of play are going to change. We don't know. You got four new head coaches. You got many new players. Some teams have really almost turned their whole rosters over. And so, what does that mean? It means it's exciting. I mean, the league is always going to be wide open. There's no way other to look at that, because anything can change. Every team can change so fast, and year to year it will.
We got Rob Calhoun next, covers EIU with a question. Go ahead, Rob.
Coach, what did it mean for you and your team to represent the conference in the WNIT last year?
Well, it was huge, outstanding. Obviously, we're in that 4-year period right now where we didn't have a chance to go to the NCAA tournament. Even though we won the conference tournament, it's just not in the cards right now. When we found out that the WNIT was a possibility, that's an amazing thing. If when we moved from Division II to Division I, our mindset in Division II, we want to compete for championships, and all of our players, all of our young women that came, obviously, other than they want to get a great degree and get prepared for the rest of their lives, but also they want to compete for something, and championships are things we talk about. What could we compete for last year? How could we represent this league, to the fullest? We could compete for a conference championship, a conference tournament, and the WNIT. And to be able to get into the WNIT was awesome. Obviously, we earned the automatic bid by winning the league, and knowing that was out there for us. And the season wasn't just going to end abruptly, even though we won the conference tournament. It was huge, and we were so excited about it, and obviously we won a game in it, and we had a chance to beat Wisconsin, and we're right there to do it, and felt great about our team and our chances, and that's something that we'll never forget. Obviously, that'll be a part of this program's history, forever.
Anybody else has other questions? We got time for one or two more for Coach before we move to Vanessa.
Sure, if you don't mind me jumping back in.
Yep.
Coach, you have a comment on the vote in January, the Division I Council looking to potentially move the postseason ineligibility period from 4 down to 3 years?
What was the question, Brad? I'm sorry.
You have a comment on it? I mean, what was your reaction when you saw it? And then do you think it will pass? And what could that mean for USI athletics?
Yeah, it's hard to say. Obviously, if they're talking about it, I'd say it's a good thing. I don't know if it would affect teams that are currently in that 4-year period or not, or is that for future teams? I haven't really heard and seen the complete ins and outs of it, but again, if it goes through and it gets cut down to 3 years for us, that'd be outstanding. Would we be happy? For sure, but if not, it just is what it is. One of the things that we talked about as a department and certainly as a women's basketball program is we we can only control what we can control, and you know, we're going to try to compete for the things that we're allowed to compete for. And if that gets cut down to 3 years, and that includes us, then hopefully we're in the mix too. But yeah, I think it's a good thing that they're talking about it. Even if I hope it affects us in a good way, but even if it affects teams in the future, I think it's a rule that's been around probably a little bit too long, and that period of time is too long. If a group if a team and a group of young women or men, you know, earn the right to be in an NCAA tournament, I think they should have the right to be in. But again, you know, that's that's not my vote. You know, I don't get a vote on it. But again, we're just going to you know, really focus in on what we can do right now, and take care of that business, and that's really about getting better every single day.
Coach, before we turn to your player, just Vanessa, who had some comments on her, what she's done for your program, and what she means to your team.
Well, Vanessa's been she's been an immediate impact from day one here, and not just as a player, you know, as a person, as a student, as an athlete, a member of this community on our campus in Evansville. You know, her character, her leadership, the respect that she has from everybody, you know, from coaches, from staff, from her teammates, again, from people in this community is amazing. She's worked so hard to get to where she is right now. She's earned everything that she's received and gotten, and you know, she's just been a tremendous part of such a neat and an awesome time in our women's basketball program, our athletics program. Obviously, you know, the year before we went Division I, we were in the NCAA tournament. We won the GLVC and cut down nets. You know, the regular season, and then just a couple short years later, you know, we're cutting nets down again. I think you know, so many. Obviously, our whole team is part of it, but when you have players and student athletes and people like Vanessa who are bought into to what we do in our team, it's so fun to see, and it's been, you know, so fun to have her a part of our program for going on 4 years now, and she's going to go down as an all-time great here, and in every way, not just in the record books, and she's going to be in it in a lot of ways, but in all ways, she's going to go down as an all-time great here.
Coach, thanks for your time this morning, and best luck to you and your team this season.
Thank you. Appreciate it, guys. Thank you.